Welcome back to the Engineered Angler. I'm testing out a new camera. It's a GoPro knockoff, one of those Chinese GoPro knockoffs, about, I want to say like a quarter or a third of the price. Came with a really nice case, a lot of really nice accessories, come pretty well thought out actually, and so that's what this is. So, I've already made this longer than it needed to be, but what I wanted to show you is that I've started making my own screw-in eyes because I want to use these on the lures that I'm making on the lathes. This is the second lure I made. The first one was that big giant popper. This is going to be a crankbait. I've got the foil on there. I'm going to do a complete finishing video, but I wanted to show you that one of the key things that I miss when I use a screw-in eye is the ability to manipulate it to tune or to adjust the retrieve on a crankbait. I find it is a lot easier with a soft metal wire where you can like bend it a little bit to either side. This you can't really bend. You got to be careful bending these too. They tend to snap. I wanted to start making these guys, and I wanted to show you how I'm making them. I certainly didn't invent this, but I've got kind of a simple way of doing it. These thicker ones I plan to use on the heavier, bigger lures. So what I'm using is this 18 gauge galvanized steel wire. You can get this at pretty much any hardware store. I use about 4 inches. As I take my typical bending pliers. These are the jeweler's pliers that I usually use to make bends in wires, and I just kind of get that bend started. So what I do then is I place the pliers in this vise, and then I use this to hold it while I twist it. The key to this whole deal is this. This is a pair of pliers used by aviation mechanics. It's for twisting safety wire on fasteners in aircraft. You can pick these up on the internet. I've seen them for as little as $15 or $20. So let me show you how this works. Essentially what you do is you grab hold of the wires. This has a little locking plate here. You squeeze down and then push back on this little lever here, and it holds the jaws tight. And then you simply pull back on this little knob, and the pliers twist the wire. What I do is get a nice bite on these wires, and that should have it. Okay, I'm just going to put it over the size that I want it to be. So that's my middle size, and then you just pull on this, let the pliers do the work, and just about as tight as you want it. I mean, I like it to be a little loose because it gives you a little more grip when you screw this in. So that's about as tight as I want it, right there. So now all I need to do is cut it to size. A really nice twisted eye so that I can slip in there. I always use some sort of cement when I put this in the body of the lure. I either use super glue, crazy glue, or whatever, or I use some 2-part epoxy, and I drill the hole just a little smaller than the diameter of this. So this will be probably, I don't know, 3/32. I'll drill it in, screw this in forcefully with the glue. If you notice, this is going to be left-hand screw. So for my standard lures, the smaller ones, the lighter inshore lures, it's the same process, just lighter wire. I'm using 174-pound leader wire. On this one, I'm going to use the smallest diameter of the turning peg, and I'll find about the center, and then I'll twist it to get this thing started. I got my tool back in the vise. Same deal. Close that. If you get one of these pliers, there's a taper on these. you definitely want to try to get as close to this point, because that's kind of where the center of rotation is. Just lock it in, drop it on, and pull. If you're worried about letting it slide out, you can give it a little bit of an assistance with your hand. If you got a little offset, you see that eye is not quite centered. You can get back in here and center the eye. Get it nice. So there you go. It's pretty easy. You can pick one of these things up online and go at it. It actually works pretty well with a really thin wire. I recommend you give it a little twist with your hands. Thanks for watching. If you thought this was useful and you want to see more of this stuff, subscribe.